you. Thank you. Yeah, they were like, we have a wig for you. I was like, wigs?
In a world where Hollywood thrives on noise, flashing lights, scandals, and ego, one man rose to fame by embracing silence. John Krasinski, once the charming everyman of The Office, would go on to redefine what it means to be powerful in Hollywood. Not through shouting, but through storytelling. Before he became a director praised for crafting one of the most hauntingly quiet films of all time, A Quiet Place, Krasinski was just another struggling actor, waiting tables, auditioning endlessly, trying to be heard in an industry that rarely listens. But what happens when the nice guy everyone underestimates becomes the one who changes the conversation? How did a shy boy from Massachusetts, who nearly gave up on acting, become a filmmaker capable of silencing the entire world and making it listen? This is the story of John Krasinski, the man who turned quiet determination into Hollywood's loudest message of hope. John Burke Krasinski was born on October 20, 1979 in Newton, Massachusetts, the youngest of three boys in a warm middle-class family. His father, a doctor, and his mother, a nurse, taught him discipline and empathy long before he ever stepped on a stage. Growing up, John wasn't the loud kid in the room. He was quiet, observant, the kind who noticed people more than he spoke. His childhood was filled with simple joys: backyard baseball, family dinners, and long New England winters that felt like chapters in a calm, handwritten story. But behind the easy smile, there was uncertainty. While his brothers chased sports, John was drawn to storytelling, writing, performing, and making people laugh. In sixth grade, a school play changed everything. He took the stage, the audience laughed, and for the first time, he felt seen. Yet, even then, Hollywood was a distant dream. When he told friends he wanted to be an actor, they laughed. His teachers advised something safer. The boy from Newton carried that doubt quietly, a seed that would later grow into drive. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories don't begin in fame or fortune, but in the silence of being underestimated. After graduating from Brown University with a degree in playwriting, John Krasinski still wasn't sure where his path would lead. He spent a semester teaching English in Costa Rica, a detour that revealed more about life than fame ever could. But when he returned to New York, reality hit. Auditions were brutal, rejections endless, and rent unforgiving. He worked odd jobs: waiter, script assistant, even office temp, while sneaking into acting classes at night. His break seemed nowhere in sight. Then, almost out of nowhere, came a role that would change everything. In 2005, John auditioned for a small NBC sitcom called The Office. At first, he didn't think much of it. He even told the casting director half-jokingly that he hoped the show wouldn't mess up the original British version. But when he read as Jim Halpert, the charming, sarcastic paper salesman, something clicked. The chemistry, the wit, the quiet depth behind the humor. It was all there. Viewers saw not just a comedian, but a man with real heart. The Office became a phenomenon, and Krasinski went from struggling New York actor to America's most relatable face. In a world full of loud performances, John Krasinski won hearts by doing something different, by being real. By the mid-2010s, John Krasinski had become a household name, the lovable Jim Halpert, whose smirk could melt through office monotony. But while fans saw success, John felt something else: a fear of being trapped in his own charm. Hollywood adored his smile, but he wanted to prove there was more behind it. He began producing, writing, and searching for roles that challenged him. In 13 Hours, The Secret Soldiers of Benghazi, 2016, he transformed his image: leaner, grittier, determined to be taken seriously. Critics were surprised, audiences intrigued, but it was what came next that would cement his place in Hollywood history. In 2018, Krasinski wrote, directed, and starred in A Quiet Place, a near-silent horror film about a family surviving in a world where sound meant death. Alongside his wife, Emily Blunt, he crafted not just a movie, but an emotional symphony about fear, love, and sacrifice. Against all odds, the film exploded, grossing over $340 million worldwide and earning critical acclaim. Suddenly, the man once known for witty looks to the camera was being hailed as a visionary filmmaker. The Office had made him famous. A Quiet Place made him respected. The success was more than professional. It symbolized a man evolving in plain sight, from sitcom sweetheart to a director who could make the world hold its breath. John Krasinski had found his voice, ironically, by making a film about silence. Success in Hollywood is rarely quiet for long. With fame came scrutiny. And for John Krasinski, the same charm that made him America's sweetheart soon became the target of criticism. The media began to ask if he was too nice. Some accused him of playing it safe, of being the golden boy who avoided controversy. Others questioned his patriotism after 13 hours, twisting his portrayal of real-life soldiers into a political statement he never intended. Then came the whispers about privilege, horror, that his rise was too clean, his marriage too perfect. Every public appearance with Emily Blunt was dissected, every interview replayed for hidden tension. Fans adored their chemistry, but tabloids hunted for cracks. Behind the scenes, John battled creative doubt. Projects like Away We Go and The Hollers, films he poured his heart into, fell flat at the box office. The actor-director who once made silence powerful now faced an even louder critic, himself. He began to question whether he truly belonged among Hollywood's greats, or if he was still the nice guy pretending to be something more. It was a crisis not of scandal, but of identity. And yet, even in the noise, John did what he'd always done best. He listened, not to the headlines, not to the whispers, but to that small, steady voice that had guided him since childhood. Keep going. Tell stories that matter. Because sometimes the hardest battle in Hollywood isn't with fame or failure, it's with the echo of doubt that fame leaves behind. After the noise of criticism faded, John Krasinski quietly began his next chapter. Not by chasing fame, but by rebuilding purpose. In 2020, when the world fell silent during the global pandemic, John turned his living room into a studio and launched a simple online series called Some Good News. There were no special effects, no million-dollar sets, just kindness, connection, and light. Millions tuned in, hungry for hope. For once, Hollywood wasn't selling glamour. It was sharing gratitude. And John was at the center of it. When cinemas reopened, A Quiet Place Part 2 roared back onto the big screen. A film both thrilling and deeply emotional. It wasn't just a sequel. It was proof that the man once known for subtle humor could now command suspense, empathy, and vision on a global scale. Through it all, John never abandoned humility. He spoke of Emily as his muse, his compass. He used success not to elevate himself, but to celebrate collaboration, resilience, and the art of staying grounded. In a time when many chased headlines, John Krasinski reminded the world that sometimes the most powerful redemption is found in sincerity, in the courage to keep creating, even when the world goes quiet. John Krasinski's story isn't one of overnight fame. It's one of quiet persistence, kindness, and purpose. He began as the shy kid from Massachusetts, unsure if he even belonged in the spotlight. Today, he stands as one of Hollywood's most respected storytellers, not because he shouted the loudest, but because he understood silence. From The Office to A Quiet Place, from laughter to fear, from uncertainty to hope, his journey mirrors the evolution of modern Hollywood itself. More human, more honest, more heart. In every role, in every frame he directs, Krasinski reminds us that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers, and those who listen, truly listen, find meaning in the quiet. The journey of John Krasinski is proof that you don't need to chase the noise to leave an echo. You just need to speak with purpose. If his story moved you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Because here, on Stars and Scandals, every name has a story worth listening to.